Into the new year we go, and I'm going to show you today the 11 best players that I've used in Football Manager 23. Yes, crew, so what is this list? It's not the best 11 players categorically across Football Manager. It's the best 11 players that I have personally used in both lower leagues and elite leagues. And also, down in the comments, I want to hear your best players you've used. Help everyone out. Get down in the comments. Tell them who they are, what they've done for you, so we can find them too. So of course we're going to start off with the goalkeeper, and for goalkeeper we're going to go to Portugal, and it's the Braga save where we won the league. And the man in question is Matheus. I'm sure some will correct me, but all I do know is that what a specimen he is. 6'3", good age at 30, so near his peak, which also means that his value of 9 to 10 million is really gettable for a lot of people. You look down his attributes there, we can see that everything is in order. He doesn't really have a weakness. Perhaps his positioning could be a little bit higher. Not the best at his feet with his vision, but as an out-and-out goalkeeper, you're not going to get much better, especially for that price. In the season, he averaged a 7.02 rating, conceding less than a goal a game in the league, a little more in Europa League when we were a bit more expansive, but as far as keepers go and value, he's the one. Next up is centre-backs, 3 of them, and the first one is going to be a budget signing for you, down in League 2 in England at Gillingham. And the man in question is Elkan Baggott. Now he's 20 years old and he's currently on loan from Ipswich. His Ipswich contract runs out in 2025, so you will have to pay for him, but it won't be too much. And with his potential at 20 years old, he's a bargain. Attribute wise, heading and jumping reach, both high double figures, combined together is a beautiful thing. All the rest, the key ones, most of them are already in double figures, and at 20 with the right training, you can bring them all up. He's going to be perfect. Handy trait of brings ball out of defence, not bad at all. Now in 20 games for Gillingham, 7.26 average rating with a couple of goals. Can you stick him on the front post at 6'5"? It's going to do the business. The next centre back was a key man in our Serie A and Coppa Italia double winning season with Roma. Now unlike Baggott, this guy's at the other end of the scale in terms of his career. He's 33 years old now, but Chris Smalling, what a season with Roma. And the key thing is that his contract expires after season 1, so you can get in there and get him on a Bosman free transfer in January, or even cheaper later on for a great cheap signing. Now looking at his game, there's not many weaknesses at all. The only one that you can really pinpoint is concentration. Other than that, it's elite. Remember, he's 6'4", jumping reach of 18, heading of 17, marking 17, tackling, positioning. These are all huge numbers for a potential free transfer in your second season. That is a key signing. And in the season with us, not only did he get an average rating of 7.30, but he scored 13 times. Ooh. Next up, it's another lower league signing, specifically for lower leagues, I'd say this one, and it's from the Northampton save where we won League 2. Now this guy could potentially be Marmite for some of you. His name is Tyler Maglaw. He can play right back, wing back, or centre back, which is where I played him, and the results were superb. Why? Get over to his physicals. Acceleration 20, pace 20. This guy should be an Olympic sprinter. This guy is all about the physicals, trust me, it's all about the physicals. His value is like 40 to 170k with a contract run to 2025. He won't be hard to sign. Now you're not going to sign him if you're higher up, because if you look at his technicals and some of his mentals, they're not great for centre back. He's one of those that's hard to explain, but the way he played for us was insane. On cover as well, used quite often. No one could catch him. He was cutting out balls all over the place with that acceleration and that pace. You could play him at fullback, but the crossing doesn't really appeal to me. He needs a bit of work, but he's 24. He can get better, but you're not going to find a centre-back as fast as that. In fact, you're not going to find a player as fast as that. In fact, is that the quickest player in the game? Let's move on to midfielders now, and the first one we're going to feature is from our time with Badalona in the Spanish 4th Division. Ladies and gents, this is Facundo Garcia. He's an Argentinian. What he's doing at this level, I have no idea. I played him mostly as a Secunde Volante. Occasionally, I played him as a Regis Star. He was that talented. Too good for his level. Passing's brilliant. His work rate is up there. Tackling is basically the all-round midfielder. I was unable to keep hold of him because he was too good for us, and he's ended up going to Independiente on a free transfer. That's right, you can get him on a free transfer because he's only got a 1-year deal. He can play at such a higher level and he's only 23. Get him signed. And we're going to stay with Badalona, but we're jumping forward one season for Garcia's replacement, who is Alex Garrido. Now, we picked him up on a free transfer from Barcelona's B team. So at the start of the game, he's in Barcelona's B team, and they release him pretty brutally, and we picked him up. So you can get him for free. But earlier in the game, he's probably available as well. On the screen is his second season with us, so we managed to keep hold of him for 2 years, but he does leave us, and he ends up at Brest in Ligue 1. Too good for us. Again, his first touch is superb. Passing at 15 at the level we were at was just ridiculous. All round, fantastic. He's only 5'7", but he's proper that Barca mode of player, like a mini Xavi if you like. Next midfielder is at the other end of the scale. We're going to the Bundesliga, and it was our final season on the Schalke rebuild. The man in question is Paul Wannert. Now, we've got him on loan from Bayern Munich, and they are keen to loan him out. In this stage, he's 19, and that's in the year 2025. So when he starts the game, he's going to be a nipper, a young nipper. Have a little look, see if he's available. He's going to cost a bit of money, but they are willing to sell him. So much so, in this loan in the third season, there is an option to buy him for around 20 million, and it is an absolute bargain. Look at his attributes on the way up at 19 years old. He's also 6'1", which low-key goes undercover, I think. And don't forget, he can play in so many positions. You could even stick him at left wing back, which is wild. I wouldn't play him there, but if you're going really aggressive, it's a great option. What a player. In the one season with us, he scored 7 goals with 15 assists from 31 matches. Now we're going to stay with that Schalke save, and it is the third season, and this is Hassan Hudrago. Now the face might be different because I've used the face pack to give him a face, but what a player we have built, and that's the key thing. You're going to bring him up, because when you start, this is 19 now, so he's like 16, 17, it's up to you where you mould him into. I played him in central midfield, up front as a false 9, can pretty much play everywhere. His value is now 40 to 48 million, and it does not start there in season 1. You can see there in season 1 we didn't even play him. I left him in the youth team to build him up, and then the second season we slowly brought him in, and the last season there, 15 goals, 11 assists and 7.42. There's not a lot he can't do, and it's up to you where you play him. If you play him in central midfield, you've got a great Mazzara on your hands, potentially a box-to-box, a central midfielder on attack. Up front, like I say, I played him at false 9, but he could play a complete forward if you want. But we're focusing on midfielders, and he can play anywhere across the midfield, even in the lower role as a registrar. Into some forward roles now, back over to Northampton in League 2. And this is Sam Hoskins. Now he's at Northampton, he's got a 2-year deal, but you can see transfer value there, between 40 and 160, so he's going to be available. Attributes across the board, really solid in the low teens, some of them. Nice player at this level, and for us, 10 goals, 16 assists in 44 games. He can play either wing, he can even play blooming wing back, just a quality all-round player. He is 30 years old, so yeah, if you're going to get him, he's not going to be there for long, but he's well worth it in my eyes. Hardest position to choose this because there's so many good forwards I've used, but we're going back to Sporting Lisbon, the beta save. And this is Jovan Cabral. Now Cabral is not even a regular for Sporting Lisbon. In fact, if you look at his history, they loaned him out to a random move to Lazio where he barely played. But for us, he was fantastic. He's only 24. His value is 8 to 9 million, which is peanuts. And his record this season was 39 goals, 39 in 50 games with 13 assists. What I love about him is you can slot him in behind the striker as well. So you've got either wing, because he's two-footed, maybe in behind as a shadow striker, or you can play him out and out forward like a drop-off forward. What a player, and cheap as chips. And now folks, it's time for the final player in our 11, the final striker. What a legend. And we're back at Badalona, which is my main save over on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, it's something worth seeing. And the man in question is the man of the hour, the man who's got the power. It's Nathan Bizet. Now on the surface of it, you might think, what is all the fuss about? He's finishing his 9, his composure helps out with 11, he's 6'3", so he's an ideal target forward, which is where we've been playing him. His jumping reach is elite at 15. Lower leagues, this guy will guarantee you goals. He's in his 4th season with us. Now his career record before that, there's nothing. There's maybe 10 goals in total, but for us, the first season, 32 goals, second season 23, and the third season 21. He's now in La Liga 2 with us, and he scored 4 in 5. He just keeps scoring goals. The best thing about it, you can grab him for free at the end of season 1, or for a pretty low fee in season 1 if you want to get him earlier, and he's not going to cost a lot in wages. I think he starts off around £1,000 a week. Now, I've used this guy before in FM20 or 21 and he did the business for me then, getting us all the way to the Premier League. I can't shout about him enough. He's 29 now in the year 2026. If you do buy him, please do let me know. So crew, that is the best 11 players from all sorts of different levels that I've used throughout different saves on FM23. Like I said at the start, bang down below in the comments your players. I want to search them as well because there's so many players I haven't even seen and help others out as well.